Hi Cancer, welcome to your week ahead tarot with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Your key to the week this week is the Death card. Endings, completions, culminations. This is a time where something is coming to an end. Remember, whenever the Death card shows up, it's about highlighting to you what is time to let go of. So what is it? Is it a job? Is it a friendship? Is it a connection? Is it a partnership? Is it a resource? Whatever it is, this week you are being invited to release something that you know has reached its sell-by date. So the other thing with the Death card as well, one thing that we don't really talk about enough with this card is it's really about acknowledging what makes you you at the depths of you. So what are your taboos? What are the things that you desire in that place of you that you quite frankly want to get into bed with, right? This is about a moment of pure honesty. Because this card is ruled by Scorpio, Scorpio rules the taboo things, and it's the taboo things that really define who we actually are, right? So I'm going to give you an example. This isn't me but giving you a peek into my sex life, by the way. Oh my God. But this could be, you know what? In the bedroom, I actually really like it rough and aggressive. I can't believe I just said that. I know so many of you are looking at me right now, like, I wonder if he does. It's just an example, but do you see what I mean? It's a taboo subject because we're talking about sex, we're talking about a certain type of sex, all the rest of it. The Death card can sometimes reveal to you your own mortality, and sometimes by acknowledging or accepting that, it can really highlight to you what makes you you. And this is about not denying or caging some aspect of you, but actually allowing yourself to be truly free. And the way that we do that is by acknowledging that one day none of this is ever going to matter because we're not going to be here. That sounds really heavy and really morbid, and maybe a big part of this for me is I'm having a Saturn transit. So Saturn is transiting my sun at the moment. And, you know, for that reason, I have a very clear, you know, not that I never did, but a much clearer understanding of the fact that one day none of this is going to be here, right? And yes, it feels like it matters more than anything else in the world at this moment in time. But actually the truth of the matter is we really are here for a very short time, and we have an experience that needs to be lived. It's good, it's bad, it's ugly, it's taboo. And so sometimes the Death card actually represents our deepest desires. What is it that you have either been denying yourself? What is it that you have been afraid or ashamed to admit that you desire? Is it that actually, you know what, I want to be super bloody wealthy? Or actually, you know what, I want a, oh gosh, come on brain. You know, I want a 7-bedroom house, or, you know, I want a sports car. Okay, these aren't things that are going to change the world. These aren't necessarily even things that are going to change your life, but it's your desire. And by speaking those desires out into the world and acknowledging, accepting and owning them, you know, maybe you could be like Leonardo DiCaprio. I only want to date 25-year-olds. Not for me. I like my meat seasoned. A little bit of salt and pepper goes a long way. But do you see what I mean? Like, this is about really claiming that. And so I kind of feel like the Death card this week for some of you is speaking to letting go of the persona, or allowing the persona of what or who you've been up until now to die. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? We're human beings. We're supposed to evolve and to grow. With that said, I would like to bless my deck of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help you on your path to your highest vibration of good. So your key, for your actions and options this week, you have the 7 of Wands. So for some of you, this could be an argument, a challenge, or an issue or a dispute that you've been having, and it's like, you know what, I'm not doing this anymore. Whatever this was, I don't know if you've seen that. There's a meme out there that says, from now on or over the course of this year, if we fell out, if you disagree with me or whatever, I agree with you. That's fine. I'm not doing that stuff anymore. For a lot of you, this could be letting go of a fight, an issue, a dispute. It might even be where you're deciding, you know what, I know I'm right, so I don't need to fight. All right, like, and sometimes that's the truth of it. Sometimes just knowing what you could say is enough. For your communications and conversations, you've got the Page of Cups. This is the second time now with completely different cards that have come up in 2 different readings. Whatever's happening this week, we're going to be revisiting again in Scorpio season. Pay attention to the conversations that are taking place for you over the course of this week, because you'll be having these same conversations again around the 25th of October when that eclipse in Scorpio hits. So we've got an eclipse at 2 degrees of Scorpio on the 25th of October. Whatever is coming up this week, whatever conversations you're having, whatever tugs on your heartstrings, pay attention to it this week, because you're going to be revisiting it again later this year in October, which, I mean, is not far away really, to be fair, you know, at this point. It's only just under 2 months basically, because it's the 7th of September as I'm recording this. Now, when it comes to your communications, they take on a bit of an easier light, and I kind of feel like this is because you're finding your compassion. And one of the ways that we find our compassion is by allowing ourselves to feel and to be who we actually are, instead of denying certain parts of ourselves. I can give you a really good example of this. It's not that, you know, every Cancerian is suddenly going to come out as gay. It's not that. What I'm doing is drawing from my own experience to give you an example that will make sense, all right? That moment that you come out and you just decide to be really open about it and not lie anymore or deny that part of you, not only do you feel a huge weight lift off your shoulders, but there's a whole bunch of fear and anxiety. There's a whole bunch of icky stuff that just melts away, because you don't have that thing holding you back anymore. That part of you isn't under a sheet. And so therefore you have access to your entire being and all of your power. And when you do that, when you can truly accept yourself and say, okay, you know what, there are going to be people that don't like this, but I'm owning it and I'm living in that truth and that power. When you do that, you find I was already, and this isn't, look at me, I'm so wonderful. I was already a very compassionate person, but in finding the strength and the courage to come out and to be all of myself publicly, I found a new layer of compassion for other people, because I realized that at some level, everybody is fighting with something that they don't want somebody to know or to see or whatever. And once I accepted that about myself, I found a greater depth of compassion for other people. This week, your communications, you are more compassionate this week. Maybe it's because the self-acceptance, maybe it's because you've decided a certain fight or battle just isn't worth it, and maybe, just maybe, it's because your Cancerian powers are switched up a stronger dial still. For those of you that are studying or in some form of academia, this could be, you know what, I love this thing, but actually I don't want to study it. You know what, I thought I wanted to be a ... but actually I don't. And again, the power that comes from making certain choices, the power that comes from accepting certain realities about yourself is immense. For those of you that are employed by somebody else, for a lot of you, this could be where you're handing a notice in, but it could just as easily be where you are kind of negotiating on your behalf. So this could be, you know what, I need a pay rise, or actually I want more responsibility, or you know what, and for some of you, this might be ultimatum territory, where you're saying, I need this because I want to stay, but if you can't give me it, I'm going to have to leave. For those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, I mean, in a lot of ways, I think for some of you, this is you now coming into a new persona of who you're going to be moving forward. When it comes to your home and environment, for those of you that are retired and no longer working, this is a moment of pure honesty. And for a lot of you, I kind of feel like this is where you are either pinpointing or calling out the troublemaker in a family situation. Then it could be where your intuition tells you that something isn't quite above board and you are going to have to deal with it. For your love and relations, you have the Two of Wands. This is really nice. I mean, with the Death card, for those of you that are partnered, married, or in long-term commitments, this could be a moment of real honesty and redefining of your commitment to your loved one by saying, look, you know what? I love the way that we live, but there's more that I want from life. And these are the things that I want. And it's kind of, there's something here that bonds you and a significant other by admitting that actually there is something that I feel unfulfilled with. And it doesn't have to be, you know, in the bedroom or whatever. It could literally be like, I want us to have a bigger house. I want us to make more money. I want us to start a family. Like, there's something here where you're able to say to your partner, I want more of this. This is, you know, where I envision us going. And it opens up a discussion. It opens up a dialogue. When it comes to your physical health, I don't know why I'm obsessed with physical health and vitality today. It's probably because I've been ill. Thank you all so much as well for your well wishes. I really appreciate it. Those of you that are single, especially with that Seven of Wands, right? It looks like some of you have maybe been entertaining going down memory lane with a certain person from your past, and this week I feel like you will make the decision of whether you feel like you are or are not, or whether it is or isn't worth it. Then for your money and materials, you've got the Page of Wands. So, I mean, this week you could just be spending money on things that you love. It might seem frivolous to other people, but it might be something that you feel needs to be done, you know? So you spend that money should you need to. So you've got 2 pages here, which represents the energy of disquiet. There might be something that you do, that you declare, that you share with the world this week that is unpopular, or it is something that, you know, by other people's standards is taboo. This could be, you know, let's say you're in a family of Muslims and you say, actually, I'm converting to Christianity. Do you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to be the thing that you expect, but it could be something that is considered for your scope of life, you know, taboo. And it might be something that you feel, no, this is me being true to myself. When it comes to your physical health and vitality, this is a very sensual week. This is a lot of fire and a lot of water. Water and fire give you steam, right? So this could be a very sexually charged week. Could be a very sensual week. When it comes to your physical health and vitality as well, whatever creates that fun and enjoyment energy, that spark of life within you, those are the things that you should be pursuing. You know, maybe not extreme sports, although, you know, if that's your thing, go for it. When it comes to your home and environment as well, for some of you, I kind of feel like you're inviting somebody in to see how it feels to have them in your space. So for those of you that are single and looking, that are maybe reconnecting to an old partner, you might be spending some time with them to see, like, is it still there? Do we still feel, you know, connected in a certain way? You know, how does my spirit feel around this person? All of that stuff. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic week. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.